Hey, friend. So today's episode is one that was not planned, not scheduled, wasn't even on our plans for season 4. However, it is a topic that, oddly enough, has come up 3 times this week when I was speaking to friends and colleagues. And so I feel that I have to just discuss this topic because if I don't, I will be doing a disservice to a lot of the people that may be feeling the same way. And so the topic is all about the fact that we put all this pressure on ourselves when it comes to hitting certain milestones when we turn a certain age. And so today I want to just talk about the idea that age ain't nothing but a number, in the words of our girl, Aaliyah. So sit back, listen in, and let me know if you are feeling the same way.
Hey there, and welcome to A Well-Rounded Life, the podcast, a space for creative entrepreneurs seeking an intentional life and biz filled with grace, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Jamira. I'm a mama, wife, dessert fanatic, and on the ultimate mission to get you closer to your idea of what it means to live a well-rounded life. Right here is where you'll find curated resources, quick tips, and relatable stories, no matter what season of life you're in. So hang out with me for a bit and let's dive in.
So here is the first instance that came up. So I have a dear friend that was celebrating a milestone birthday, which is always so exciting, something that we look forward to because who doesn't love to celebrate another year of being blessed here on earth? However, this year, because the milestone was one that they had kind of been dreading, this birthday wasn't quite like the rest. And so I'm just going to use the example of the age 40. I know for some of us, we have 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, and all these other huge milestones that we often get excited about. And so in this case, when I think about being 30, I think 30 is like you are legit an adult. You should know right from wrong. You may have started a family. You know the things you want in life and in love, relationships, friendships, and all the things you will and will not accept. To me, that's 30. And then I know that there's some of us who are getting closer to 40 and we're like, all right, 40, I'm an adult, like for real. And by 40, I need to have my stuff together. I need to be in the career that I am going to retire in. I need to be with the person that I'm going to share life with. I need to be thinking about my children and their future. And so for a lot of us, 40 is that number. 50 is, okay, I've done a great job in career. I've raised these children and, all the things. And so let's just go back to 40 and how I mentioned that at that age, there are a lot of us that feel like we should have had accomplished certain things by then. And the truth of the matter is, I just feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves to have accomplished certain things at a certain age. Think about that. How many times have you had a birthday and you're like, by this age, I'm going to have done X, Y, and Z. Or by the time I turn this age, I'm going to make sure that I've hit such and such goal. The reality of it is, we can make all these goals. We can wish for all these things. But the reality of it is, we may not be ready for those things in that season and during that time frame. And so I want to encourage you, if you are feeling some type of way, like some of the people in my circle, I want to encourage you to not put so much emphasis on a number, a milestone, but instead put emphasis on how much work you are willing to put in order to reach a goal, in order to satisfy what you feel like would make you happy. And so don't think, okay, by this age, I need to have accomplished these things. I want you to take that same energy that you are using to get all worked up and to get all down and out. Take that same energy and transfer it into being intentional with your goal setting, being intentional with your plan, being intentional with all the time that you are going to put into actually making these goals happen. You can say that by the age of 30, you want to be a homeowner. Well, guys, what are you doing to actually accomplish this goal? Are you working overtime in your job to get the money for closing? Are you doing your research to figure out where it is you want to live? Are you doing the savings, cleaning up your credit? What are you doing so that you can reach that goal at that age? So there are people that be like, man, I didn't buy the house at 30, and they're sad or they didn't do the thing. But you have to stop and ask yourself, how much time and energy am I putting into actually reaching the goal? It doesn't make sense to sit around and be sad and down and out if you know you didn't show up and you know you didn't do the work. So yes, we can use our age as our marker and a determining factor on if we are successful with a said goal. But the reality of it is we have to evaluate how much work and energy we are willing to do in order to reach the goal at this certain point. And the thing is, we don't always do the work, but we expect a certain result. We expect that we will have that career, that we will be booming, that we will have found love. But the reality of it is we haven't done the work to actually get there. Not everything is going to come to us at all. It's not a situation where you are going to be sitting around and all the blessings are going to come to you. Sometimes you got to show up and do the work. So if you are going to use that age, that milestone, whatever, figure out in between, let's say 39 and 40, 29 and 30, how much work you are willing to put in to reach the goal. Heck, even between 25 and 30, if you know by 30 you want certain things to happen, then what needs to happen? Write it down. Figure out the plan. Figure out the plan of action. Figure out the people that you need to put in place, put in your life, and the prayers that you need to say, and what needs to happen in order to reach the goal or the milestone. There is no reason for us to sit around and feel a certain type of way when we have this birthday and we're like, damn, I didn't reach the goal. And I'm guilty of it myself. I remember on, my last birthday, the birthday before last, I remember sitting at my birthday dinner with my friends, we're all dressed up, fancy restaurant, whatever. And I was like, I was looking forward to this birthday, but I also thought by this point in my life, my business would look different, that I would be making a certain amount of money, that I wouldn't have certain people in my life, or that other people would be back in my life. And the reality of it is, I look back and I'm like, well, Jamira, what were you doing in between the last milestone birthday and the current one? What actions were you taking? What tasks were you completing? What were you doing? What things were being set up for you to actually reach the goal? And the reality of it is not much. I look back and I'm like, there are a lot of things I could and should have been doing, but I didn't. And so instead of getting all worked up about that, you have to decide, what are you going to accomplish so that you can feel super excited about that birthday, jumping up and down and having more to celebrate than just the fact that you turned a year older. So I just hope that there's someone out there that's listening that you have a birthday coming up. And it doesn't have to be a milestone birthday, but maybe a birthday. What do you want to accomplish between now and that birthday? Because birthdays are like New Year's. They are it feels like a fresh start, a new beginning, new responsibilities. That is what a birthday symbolizes to me. And so my birthday is in March. And so I'm looking at the fact that we're at the end of October. And what do I want to accomplish by my birthday? What do I need to do in order to feel excitement and not sorrow on my birthday? What goals do I want to accomplish? I'm not going to try to do anything super grand and out of control over the next few months, but little by little, step by step, task by task, that is what I'm going to focus on and where I'm going to put my energy. And you know what I'm going to decide as well? I'm going to decide to give myself some grace, because right now it is a super crazy, unprecedented climate that we live in. And so things are going to look different. A lot of us, we thought our businesses would look different. We thought our home life would look different, but that is not the case. And these are things that are out of our control. And so instead of thinking about 2020 and all the things we didn't get done, let's look ahead and figure out the things that we would like to get done, the goals we would like to accomplish, but better yet, the steps we need to take in order to make it happen. And that is the conversation I had with my one friend. We talked all about, okay, we have the opportunity to start over any day of the week, you can wake up and say, you know what? I want a fresh start. And that fresh start can be the next hour, the next day, the next year. It is up to you to decide when you are actually going to get off your butt and actually make things happen and put the wheels in motion. And I think that someone is listening and they're like feeling down and out, some type of sorrow, some type of disappointment. And you should not have to feel that way because we all fall short. We set these big goals, but rarely do we put action steps, tasks, and all of that behind the goals. And so I want to encourage you to carve out some time to do that, as I said earlier in the show, to figure out what you need to do to make it happen. And for someone that is just feeling discouraged overall with the climate that we're in and whatnot, figure out what brings you joy. Figure out the things that make you happy. And if you have to pause on certain goals and certain milestones in order to get your mental health together, in order to do things that make you feel better so that you can actually show up and show up with excitement, do that. There are no rules to this thing called life. It is hard. And I think we forget how hard doing life can be. And that is where, I told my friend, I'm like, this is hard. No one knows the answer. And even if you thought you knew the answer, this year showed that we have no clue as far as what to expect and how to navigate things sometimes. And if you are a believer of some sort, you know that we are not in control of every single thing around us. A lot of us, we like to feel like we're in control, but the reality of it is that is not the case. But what we can control is how we react to things and how we decide to show up. And that's what I want to encourage you today, is to figure out how you need to show up in order to make those big goals and dreams happen. And not feel like over the next couple months, you're looking at that birthday that's coming up and you're like, ugh, I didn't do this, and that. Instead, you can feel excitement and encouragement that you are going to shift some things, change things around, make a plan. That is what I want you to do. And the other thing is, like I said, there were a few people that I had conversations with as far as milestone birthdays. Don't get in your head and don't let anybody else make you feel like you are not where you're supposed to be. The truth of the matter is you are exactly where you are supposed to be. I told my friend that if you would have gotten blessed with the things that you thought you wanted and needed before this birthday, the reality of it is you might not have been ready for those things. You may not have appreciated those things. You may not have been able in a place to receive the things that you are hoping and praying for. And so now you know what it feels like to not have and to not have accomplished something that you felt was important to you. And so now you know what it feels like to not have reached that goal. Now you know what it feels like to not have built that business or to have grown a friendship or whatever it is. So what I want you to do is I want you to figure out what you need to do, what steps you need to take so that you don't feel this way on that next birthday or that next deadline. And so you know what it feels like and you don't like it. So what are you going to do so that you don't feel this way again? But on top of that, I want you to just surrender and be okay and accept that wasn't for you in that season and during that time. And so get ready, get prepared, and set everything up so that you are in a position to receive, to accept, to nurture, to care for, to love on the goal and the thing that you say you want. And on my Instagram, I had talked all about the tool Power Sheets and how myself and my clients, we use Power Sheets to set goals and to figure out how we are going to reach the goal step by step. And so I'm going to link in the show notes the goal planner that we use and how we hold ourselves accountable and each other accountable on putting the action steps behind the goals. And so as I close up, I just want you to remind yourself to give yourself some grace, to look at a birthday as a positive thing, to look at a birthday as a blessing, because there's someone that did not make it to whatever birthday you're celebrating. There's someone that didn't make it to 30. There's someone that didn't make it to 40. There's someone that didn't make it or barely made it to 50. and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And when I say there's someone that didn't make it to 50, my mother made it to 50 years young before she made it to 50, but she did not make it to 51. And so we take things for granted. We take it for granted that we have this birthday and we have these blessings, and we don't celebrate. Instead, we choose to just feel negatively about a birthday. And so I get excited about birthdays most of the time because I know they are a blessing. And going forward, I encourage you to do the same thing. And I also want you to just be reminded that you are in control of how you decide to show up. That is something that I think we forget and we take for granted. So let's change it. Let's turn it around. Let's show up. Let's show out. Let's make it happen. Let's finish the year strong. Let's set ourselves up for success, for a new year, a new birthday, a new milestone, and a new attitude. Thank you for hanging with me today, friends. Like I said, this is a episode that I recorded on the fly. And so I just wanted to chat with you and hopefully remind somebody out there that you have so much to look forward to. You have a lot of amazing things on the horizon. We just sometimes have to get up, do the work, put in a little extra oomph to make it happen. If you are a fan of this podcast, which I really hope you are, I hope you head over to Apple Podcasts so that you can leave us a 5-star rating and review. Say hi over on the gram. I'm at Coach for Creatives. Be sure to check out the website, awellroundedlifepodcast.com, for all of the show notes, which are also linked wherever you listen to our podcast. Thank you, Well-Rounders. I will chat with you soon. Stay safe and stay positive. Bye.
Friends, thanks for kicking it with us this week. Remember to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode airs. I'd love it if you leave us a review and share this goodness with your squad. Until next time, seek a well-rounded life and remember to focus on what matters most.